Thank you very much, Leader Schumer, for bringing us together this morning for this very, very important legislation. I thank you for bringing folks from both sides of the Capitol, and I'm grateful for your appeal for bipartisanship on, again, this is important legislation. I want to thank Senator Hirano and Tammy Duckworth, Senator Duckworth as well, and of course we're very proud of Grace Ming and her leadership on this legislation. She also had another hate crimes bill earlier, in the last Congress. So she's been on this with great ideas, leadership, and values. And to Andy Kim, thank you, from New Jersey, for your leadership on this as well.
That's close.
He means New York is close to New Jersey. Again, thank you, Senator Schumer. Here's the thing. The senator talked about the visits that he has made into the community and heard the concerns that people have put forth. I myself last week was in Chinatown in San Francisco. I visited the Northeast Medical Services Center, which is a recipient of our rescue package money. So it was very hopeful to hear how the community, AAPI community, was taking the lead in a culturally and linguistic appropriate way to reach out to the community and successfully test, trace, vaccinate, and the rest. Again, leading the way. Leading the way. It gave us so much hope. It was so sad also, though, to hear the stories of fear that people had in the community. Again, I represent San Francisco in the Congress. This is a place where we take such pride in our AAPI community, as I'm sure in Hawaii and New York and New Jersey you do as well. But in San Francisco, we're small, and the community is large, and we are very dependent. In fact, we learn a lot from that community. A week before, I had virtually visited with them with our regular meeting that we usually have to talk about housing and any number of other issues of concern to the community, where public policy has an impact and where values are our guide. And so again, the community has been an intellectual resource for improving life for all of us in our country. Actually, I voted in Chinatown at Limpu Li post office. That's the first post office named for he actually worked for Phil Burton.
Really?
And then Phil named a post office for him. So you see. So, and again, the roots run deep. And that's one of the messages I had that day. When the press asks about what are we doing, let us salute President Biden. Right from the start, within like 24 hours of his presidency, he had executive order calling upon the Justice Department, even before we had an Attorney General, calling upon the Justice Department to take up this issue in a very specific way. And again, more recently, his executive actions have been very important. So let us salute him, but let us do also what the leader said the president asked us to do, to pass this legislation. It will be marked up in committee within the next week in our House. We'll pass it immediately and send it over to the Senate, but they have their own version of the bill too. So at some point, we'll have a meeting of the legislation and to pass it, to send it on to the president. Just as a matter of experience in our community and the rest, it breaks your heart to see how communities are affected by these hate crimes, and how parents are so protective of their children not feeling that negative attitude. I mean, also, the targets are sometimes older women. I say that as an older woman, and I say to them, when somebody is about to make some kind of an attack, listen to what they are saying, because what they say is what is evidence as a hate crime. It shouldn't have to be that high a standard if the intent is so clear. But the fact is, for now, what we have to do is to make sure we get the words. And I said, some of us who are, shall we say, older, don't have all of the familiarity with some of the lingo that people might use. And if you are, again, English is your second language, you might not recognize it for the intention that is there. So again, we have to do our part here in terms of legislation and making the law. Grace Meng in our house, I can speak to this, has been relentless. I've visited her in her district and seen the beautiful diversity of AAPI in her community, and she is a magnificent spokesperson for them. But I do not have the privilege of yielding to her. It's my privilege to yield to our former House member, a person we take great pride in, and I mean, every time she speaks, we all think, she's ours. She's ours. She came from the House. Senator Hirano. Thank you.